Welcome back to Better Dig 2, the husband and wife horror podcast bringing our couch conversations to the masses. I'm your host, Maddie.
And I'm your host, Shrade.
Grab a seat on the couch and let's talk horror.
Maddie, my love.
Mm-hmm.
What a week.
What a week.
So they followed suit from what they did last year.
They did.
We got one hell of a week with just a dump of all the information.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got 4 separate house announcements to go through.
4 new originals. The final 4 to be announced.
That is true. So there was some conjecture last week that we were like, okay, Carousel's not going to have 5. It's only going to be 6 IPs or 4 IPs and then 6 originals. Mm-hmm. And now I think that it's an even split yet again.
Yeah, they did confirm that was the last of the IP or last of the originals. So it is going to be a 5-5 split this year. So that raises a couple of questions, but
yeah, we'll dig into that here in a minute. But going through, were you more hyped on Monday? Were you more hyped on Wednesday? Were you hyped on Thursday? What was the best day of the week last week for you?
I was really hyped on Monday. I was really excited for that one.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have an announcement on Tuesday. Wednesday, we were expecting that one.
Mm-hmm.
I have mixed feelings about that one.
Yeah.
Thursday was a little out of left field.
That one
agree. There was no spec on that one at all. I mean, maybe like a teeny tiny bit, kind of, but not really. And then Fridays, I was really excited about that one too.
Yeah, they saved the best one for last.
Yeah. But honestly, out of the 4, I think probably Mondays.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, do you want to go ahead and kick it off?
Yep.
What was Monday's house announcement?
So Monday's house announcement was HR Blood and Guts presents a Halloween Fright-tacular.
What a fun name.
Yes. I think that's why I'm most excited for that one, because it's classic Halloween, and they did confirm that this is a sequel to the 2011 house Holidays of Horror.
Oh, right, where they had like the Feaster Bunny was one. Mm-hmm. They had like the Santa Krampus thing.
Yeah.
Like went through all of them. 4th of July.
It was all the different holidays. So, but it was basically, quick backstory, HR Blood and Guts was a presenter, but it was a radio show, I believe.
Yes.
On the first iteration. Mm-hmm. And he found out that he was getting like let go from the station. His show was getting canceled. Basically lost his shit and like live on air was like torturing his producers as he was going through this final show, and then eventually, got arrested. And but now he's back. He's escaped Cary prison.
Hell yeah.
So that's where he was being held. He's escaped Cary prison. And now he has gone back, and it's a TV station now. So basically it feels like it's going to be kind of like Tales from the Crypt. There's a little presenter. So they did say, so real quick, the house description: tune into a curated selection of HR Blood and Guts Halloween favorites in this haunted house, complete with ghouls, gore, and all the frights that keep you coming back for more. So
flavorful, fun.
So different from the first house where it was different holidays, this one is just Halloween. Love that.
Traditional Halloween is the best.
Yeah, love that.
Anytime that you throw a theme like that in to an event like HHN and it's traditional Halloween, it's always a hit.
Oh, yeah. So the overall director of HHN, Ramon Paradoa, said there are 7 movies that we're presenting as scenes in the haunted house, 7 movies that are a part of the marathon. Some of those movies are callbacks to HHN's past. Okay. So there will be some, maybe from Slaughter Cinema, maybe from other houses, who knows? So it'll be a fun little walk down memory lane for some people.
So HR Blood and Guts was the man in the suit, right?
Yes.
The Feaster Bunny?
Yeah, he was the Feaster Bunny. Okay. So
in the key art, do you think he will be reprising that role, or will we see the Feaster Bunny? Because that was one of the things on like the VHSs on the left hand side.
There was like Feaster Bunny. There was like the Thanksgiving one. I can't remember what that part of the house was called. Like Thanksgivings or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Zachariah's.
Shout out.
Yeah. We'll make you go through that house first because they're going to come for you. And what was it? Uncle Sam Wants You or something?
Yeah, Uncle Sam Wants You.
So that was like, so it was just how that first house was different holidays. But this one is just Halloween. So speaking of reprising roles, the original actor that played HR Blood and Guts in the first house is returning to be HR Blood and Guts again.
And it will be accurately aged up just for...
Yep. Well, and they said, he'll be aged up, and then he'll also be like, you can tell, like, he's been in prison, like, he's changed. So, they did say that, so the way they're going to do that is, so it says, in true horror host fashion, you're going to get to see him in video format in between each of those movies, and he's essentially going to usher you into the next movie. And also, he will also introduce the house itself and its backstory in Q line videos too.
I love that, and I think that might be the biggest like differentiator for me from Slaughter Cinema, where we do have one cohesive unit that's linking each room.
You're getting
together.
a little intro to each one.
Exactly. I'm not just getting like a movie poster, like Slaughter Cinema. So, if they do a Slaughter Cinema 3, which I'm sure in our lifetime we'll see it. Maybe have like HR Blood and Guts host that or something like that where a little more cohesive. Not shitting on the house. I know everybody in our friend group thinks that I shit all over the house and think it's terrible. It's not a bad house. It's just...
Wasn't for you.
It was not built for me, no.
So, but yeah, I think it'd be fun. So I guess they'll be, recording all those clips and they'll play. So one thing about this, so after this week, after all these announcements were made, Horror Night Nightmares did release one final spec map. Wasn't much change on it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But this one had all spec season had been posted in the Fast and Furious location. So when I saw about these videos, I was like, oh, that makes sense because just like the Chucky house where they had all the video screens, and then in the in the Fast and Furious queue, they have the TV screens. They're able to do that. That made a lot of sense. On this spec map, they have it down in the tents.
I do love that.
I don't know how that it just didn't seem like it's as optimized for this house concept as Fast and Furious would be.
I don't know, because the tents, you would get one massive room and you can fully curate it, where like you are more limited, I think, in the Fast and Furious than you are in those tents. And I think depending on like how big set pieces are, things like that, I think because you're going to have to differentiate each mood, each individual set piece is going to have to follow which episode or which movie we're on at the time. So for me, I think I like it better there.
So I just think, I remember it's got to be in one of the new tent houses because those have the covered queues that did have the TV screens under them. But I feel like they would need more because if you're trying to watch this pre-show to go into the house, unless they're just projecting it onto the tent, or how they did maybe Slaughter Cinema last time where they had it like the big drive-in screen and had the previews playing on that. I mean, that could work too, where it's those outdoor, like you're in the chain link fencing queue part where there was like the big screen and it was showing like the previews to some of these movies, like the trailers.
Yeah, I like it.
Up there like that. So I guess they could do it like that too. But I thought, Fast and Furious just seemed like it was going to be more, like I said, an optimized location, just because it is hard to make that a cohesive house. So with it being something chopped up in 7 pieces, they could do it. But apparently I don't know if it was a last minute change or if it's just been like that the whole time and the spec maps were just wrong, but we'll see. So, but yeah, I'm excited for that one. I was not surprised that they did it. It's been on the spec maps literally since the very first one, like the Christmas one.
Yeah.
And then they, popped up Feaster Bunny at Horror Unleashed, so they're it was really like hinting at it all year, I feel like.
Yeah.
So But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I think it's just going to be fun. Halloween. So
I think it will be the Goblin's Feast House this year.
okay. And then, I mean, for all the veterans that have been going forever, you know, I think everyone's excited to see HR Blood and Guts again.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool for us to get like him being featured because he was
we
in
saw
Carrie.
him. We saw him briefly in our very first year in the Horrors of the Heartland.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was just like almost like a cameo, I guess.
Yeah.
But really, since his first house 15 years ago, this will be his first return. Big return, at least.
I do like that. And I'm ready to see an icon.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be a good year. I can feel it. Feel it deep in my jellies. All right. We ready to go to the next house?
Yeah.
So on Wednesday, we had Madlands Cage Cannibals. And then the whole like little tag is, in this haunted house, a defunct zoo is now the deadly domain of warring cannibal factions that have taken their animal instincts to the extreme. They're territorial, they're hungry, and your lunch.
Okay, so this is what makes me think that this is going to be the Goblin's Feast House, because it's a really similar concept.
Well, I mean, they're goblin people. I get it.
Well, that was the whole thing with Goblin's Feast.
Yeah.
They're like, your lunch. So, but they did say, though, where Goblin's Feast, you know, was more like silly, like whimsical, they did say this is going to be a very aggressive house, like in your face.
I think that'll be fun and dependent, because it's probably going to be very faction based, like it's talking about. So I'm sure we'll get like a bunch of animal noises, and it won't be like a mutations thing.
No, not a mutations. The way the article read, especially this part where it says they've taken their animal instincts to extremes. So the article said that within the zoo, the factions are, so this is a, you know, dystopian where all animals have gone extinct, and these cannibal factions have taken over the zoo. And within the zoo, they have like taken on the personas of those animals. Okay. So they said, but in their interpretation of it, because they never experience those animals, I guess. So it's like the tiger exhibit, they're gonna be like tiger.
Striped and maybe fanged.
Yeah, I mean, it made it really seem like they're gonna be acting like them. So kind of makes me think Black Panther, like the different tribes within it. Like they had the gorilla ones, they had the panther ones, and they kind of, I mean, they dressed like them, and then like kind of gave off that like persona.
Yeah, big powerful vibes.
Yeah,
depending on the animal. Yeah, if you had to pick an animal that you'd like to see have a faction, like a traditional zoo animal, and you can't say otters.
Damn it.
What would it be?
Like what do I think would be the scariest?
Just what you would like. Like, even if it's just comedic or funny, or if it's an animal you think would be really sick to see.
I mean, I think just lions would be cool.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a pretty basic answer. I think
you took my otters away from me.
I think a koala would be sick. Drop bears are scary as hell. I'm about that. Or like a sloth.
Yeah, oh yeah, the sloth faction. Terrifying.
Dude. Just like in Roadhouse, the 3 fingers ripping the throat out. That'd be sick.
Okay, whatever. So God, you're such a dork.
How dare you?
Oh my God. Okay. So they said this is expected to be one of the bloodiest, most aggressive, and most intense houses. So I'm expecting like you're walking down and it's like bars and stuff, and they're just gonna be like jumping at the, you know, jumping out at you, trying to get you. I don't know.
I think it'll be really, really sick. And there was also something in there about interesting smells.
Oh yeah, I was waiting until you saw that.
So
you're the one, I think, out of our group, you're one of them that's the most affected by smells usually.
I just got a sensitive sniffer.
You do. You got a sensitive little schnoz. So yeah, interesting smells, which I'm like, it's a zoo full of
If they did the barn thing like they did
people.
in Texas Chainsaw in California, that'd be great. Like makes kind of sense.
Maybe.
But I bet it will be like a lot of iron. I just
a lot
hope
of gore. I feel like it's gonna be like rotting smells.
Please don't put the poop smell.
It's going to be animal smells. Yeah.
I'm fine with like a little musk, but please don't put the poop smell in. That one makes me want to throw up.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this one, we had theorized it was like Carrie Zoo. And as far as I know, it doesn't have any ties to Carrie.
Okay.
Unless because it's like supposed to be like dystopian.
Well, yeah, which is interesting that we're going to kind of get two dystopian houses.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one.
Yep. This one is even more dystopian, or I guess it is in just a different vein.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the one that was, like we said, out of left field, because the only bit of spec that kind of tied to this was the one on Hallowed Out Horrors map.
Mm-hmm.
And it was what was it called?
Like Zyborgs from...
Well, they did do Zyborgs.
I don't remember what they named it.
No, yeah. Well, they had Zyborgs on there. I mean, and it was called Zyborgs.
Mm.
But then they also had the one from the Scare Zone from our first year that we hated.
Seek and Destroy.
Seek and Destroy. There it is. Yep. So those were kind of the only two that sort of were in this realm of, you know. But so it's called Cybergoria.
Sick name.
Okay.
Be a great death metal band.
The description: awaken thousands of years into the future in this haunted house and brave a cold world driven by machines with a singular goal: to make you live forever, even if it kills you.
I'm in.
Feels very Terminator. Like,
yeah, I know this
Skynet,
is like right up your alley.
Yeah, Skynet's taken over. There was, I don't know if you put that in there, but they just said, I guess humanity had tried to achieve immortality.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's gotten to the point where their robot assistants, everything, like took it to the extremes. Now they've taken over and they're like, this is the objective. Sorry.
Yeah, and what's funny is there's a commentary on this of like who can afford what. So it's very Repo Man in the, like that facet where if you are at the upper echelon of society, you could pay. So we'll probably see some like really well put together animatronics and cyborgs. And then you just get these people that are just patched up. One of them have like a radiator sticking out of them.
Okay, that's interesting.
What I really enjoyed was when Matthew Flood in the Game Rant article, he was talking about it, and he said that this is one of the most, this is super exciting for a couple of reasons. I talked about it being really like integrated and kind of alive, like as a whole environment. Our team is getting better and better, and the amount of integration of audio, lights, and how the characters are being presented are all at the next level.
Okay.
So for somebody who's been part of a creative team like this before, to say that they are bringing more to it, and I hope it won't just be false.
Yeah.
But lighting we've seen just around the park. Lighting has been awesome.
Yeah.
Sets have been incredible the last few years. Everything is really kind of culminating into 35 being this just banger of a year.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you've got your creatives that are doing these interviews and they're excited, it just makes me even more pumped for the event. So, as a layman outside looking in, I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
He did also talk about this, like you would enter through like a freezing, so like a cryogenic chamber. So is this our cold house for the year?
I think there might be the elements of it. And I mean, it does say it's a cold world, but it's also going to be in a tent. So if it was in a soundstage, I would 100% believe that they were going to make it just like freezing ass cold, because those sound stages are always like meat lockers. Now, I mean, the tents are air conditioned, so, but I just feel like they're not as up to the task as like the sound stages are. Maybe, to be like Dead Man's Pier.
Maybe they'll get like a couple of air conditioners and just pump them into the back. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like give me that frosty, cold feel.
Yeah.
Just in like one spot.
Like Men in Black.
Yeah. I'm cool with it. And I think this is going to be, they talked about in that article that it's going to be a lot like the Insidious house, where I'm hoping that it's more based in the line of like nonstop character interactions. Not just a bunch of sheets drop down and like one guy popping out, which this, like somebody balancing sci-fi horror at this event, I'm really interested to see what they do, like with a full-length house.
Yeah, me too.
It's like, it's hard to pull off, I think. In the genre as a whole, I think mixing horror and sci-fi, they can get real campy, real weird, or they fall into really basic tropes.
Yeah.
So for them to do something like this, I'm ready. I'm open.
Well, that is something that it seems like they're trying to stay away from this year, is the campy aspect.
Yeah.
And specifically in the final house that we had announced this week, we had also, this one was kind of spec'd, but it is not exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So the final house that was announced, final original house that was announced Friday is Invasion Alien Abduction.
I am so in.
Yeah. And I was a little disappointed when it wasn't like Invasion of Lightning Gulch, because I thought that was going to be such a fun house. But I understand why it's not, because like I said, they're trying to stay away from the campy. And they specifically said that about this house. They said aliens get so easily can get campy and like silly, and they really wanted it to be horror.
Yeah.
So I love that. You know, keep horror at HHN. I do love the fun, silly houses, but I love seeing what they can do and really trying to make things scary.
Subverting expectations for like Little Green Men, which we'll get into. But I do want to hit the tagline real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
Do I put on like a little Western here?
So that's the thing. It's not.
It's like a homestead, but it's not
Southwestern. So think more Arizona, New Mexico is what they're saying, because they said it's like turquoise and cactusy.
See, I like that. Have we talked about the time period that this is in as well?
As far as I know, it's like present.
Okay, well that's fine. So make contact with horrors from worlds unknown in the haunted house, where a ship full of greys have torn apart a remote homestead in search of fresh test subjects.
Yep.
God, do I want this house to be so sick?
I really think it will be. I'm thinking like Signs. I'm thinking the season of American Horror Story was at Asylum when they had the alien abduction, because that's why she got landed in the asylum, or the husband did.
Yes.
So when they had those scenes of like the alien invasion, like in American Horror Story, like they were spooky, you know?
They did do a good
So this
job.
is what I feel like it's more leaning towards. I mean, that's what they said. It's not going to be campy comedy aliens. It's going to be tentacles, claws, home invasion, claustrophobia, and unexpected amounts of gore and violence.
I love that. And I hope that it is, we are going to see kind of the, like off in the distance, because everybody knows the silhouette of like the little gray man, right? So for them to kind of subvert that expectation when you get up close to them, you know, like
that's
you're
what
talking
they
about.
said. They're going to give you that, you know, iconic, like recognizable, silhouette of like the gray aliens. But when you see them up close, it's going to change your idea of it. And they also said, thankfully, that they're not all going to be the same. So that's what we've seen, you know, in Tooth Fairy.
Tooth Fairy was bad,
and then different houses where it's just the same character design throughout the house. And it gets so boring and monotonous. So they did say that we won't see the same alien over and over again. There will be a diverse group of aliens with different character design.
Okay.
So I'm so excited about that, because I know they're going to be making some really cool freaking aliens.
Yeah. You know what else is going to be freaking sick? So they talked about new technology and scares. Vibrating floor.
Yes.
So you'll be able to like feel the subwoofer of the whole ship landing.
Yes. So that's what they said is like, you know, they'll use a subwoofer, or they'll try to, where you can like feel it in your chest, but that always gets dampened just by the number of people in the houses, the sets. So they've experimented with this like vibrating floor effect, where it's like you're going to be able to feel like the ship, or like when they're doing like using their scanners or something.
That'd be really cool.
So I'm really excited for that, just because I love those different effects where it brings in more of your senses.
Yeah.
It's not just what you can see and hear, but then it becomes what you can feel.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. And then in that same vein, they talked about tentacles that can snatch you.
Yes.
So are we going with more of a like puppeteered tentacle coming around a corner? I mean, because like, they're not allowed to touch you.
Yeah.
Right. But there is that gray area where they hang the fishing wire from the top of the
their
ceilings.
like workaround on that. It's like the scare actors won't touch you.
The stagnant set pieces.
But if when they do like the fishing line, or they'll just have them hanging from the ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like they might kind of mix that in where it is the like grabby ones, and then the ones that just hang down and can like touch you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. So.
I like it. And then like Southwest setting, like the turquoise cactus stuff, I think it's just fun.
Well, and it's just a little different. If it was going to be like Invasion of Lightning Gulch, we were thinking like Texas or something. You just think of like South, or they said, a lot of the times when you think an alien invasion or an abduction, it's like, it's always set in the Midwest. So they wanted to change it up a little bit because you think signs like the cornfields. And so they wanted to change it up a little bit, which I love that. So it's not just your run of the mill, alien abduction story.
Yeah.
And I think they said that I guess the lead on this house, that's like where he's from. It's like the Southwest. So he was like, let's do it there.
Yeah. I mean, he knows the source material. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
I do think that, a lot of the Midwest like association with aliens, but we obviously can't like Area 51.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I think it'll be cool because we get like mountains and trees pretty frequently, but like rolling hills and deserts and those kind of biomes. Well, and you think about
like it's a homestead, and so if you're out in the middle of nowhere, especially if it's kind of deserty, you know?
I'm ready for a battle in the barn. I'm ready for a tractor running over an alien ship. That's
the thing. I don't know if it's gonna be any kind of like the humans are fighting back. I think it's just aliens came in the middle of the night and they're just taking everything. Yeah. They don't distinguish between the humans and the animals. It's just like whatever their heat sensors, they just grab.
I hope that there's an alien running around with a chicken. Like trying to
I want to see a cow. I want to see a cow getting,
obviously.
taken up at some point. So they said it's going to be a very chaotic house. And so they like I said, the aliens are not, it's not like malicious. They're not like targeting humans. This is just their job. They've got to get their test subjects so they can run their experiments. They're just going in and grabbing. So it's just, they're just destroying anything in the way. They said it's just, they're going to be punching through the walls, doing whatever. So, going to be a chaotic house, and it's a completely new foundational story.
Okay.
So whereas like HR Blood and Guts, Jack and Oddfellow coming back, on the spec map we still have is it Caretaker?
Yes.
For the Scare Zone. So they're doing a lot of callbacks, which is, I mean, what an anniversary year is, but they wanted to do some new. So this is going to be a new foundational story for this year for HHN, which is fun because, we've only been going for 5 years. So there are things we have seen, but then there's going to be a lot at this year that we've never experienced before. So it's fun getting to be in on like the ground floor of something new. Just like, we were there the very first year that Lil Boo was a thing,
Yeah.
So
groundbreakers.
It's fun for the new people and the new generations to get to experience those things and not feel like you're missing out or that you're missing references in houses because it's callbacks from years past.
Yeah.
So nice mix, but I'm excited. But they did say, the fact that it's going to be really chaotic house, that's how it's like tying into the overall theme, Jack and Oddfellow, chaos and control. It's the chaos. So
I'm in. I'm 100% in. Let's just see what kind of batshit crazy things we can experience in this house.
So those were the 4 final original houses that were announced. I was sad that a vanity ball type house was not happening this year.
Yeah.
Surprised on that one because that was on the spec maps. Something to that tune.
Yeah.
Was on the spec maps from the beginning. So it makes me wonder. I feel like that's where like Cybergoria took over. And so hopefully we'll get to see that concept. Maybe it just didn't fit this year, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of, that's what they do. They're trying to make it a cohesive event, especially on an anniversary year. If it just didn't fit this year, once they got down to it, then that's fine. I don't want it to stick out like a sore thumb.
And I think like all the stuff that we see online is a lot of people up talking Vanity Ball, wanting to see this. And so I'm sure it's coming to the event because it is such a memorable thing. And I hate the fact that we weren't going at that point.
Yeah.
Because it, like, just walking through that scare zone and watching film, it's so cool.
Yeah. So hopefully we will get to see that in the future. But okay.
You ready to hop back into the spec map?
Yep. So we did get that final spec map from Horror Night Nightmares. And like I said, they're really, the fact that we have 7 houses confirmed at this point. So we have 3 left and they got to be all IPs. So everything's pretty much in its spots. Nothing has really moved. The only changes were, let's see. So HR Blood and Guts was at Fast and Furious. It's now down in the tent where Hellraiser was. Hellraiser is now up in the soundstage, which originally it was up there, I think.
I think
like
at
on
one point
of the early ones.
Yeah, and then it slowly rotated clockwise.
It went down to the tent, and then so now it's back up in a soundstage. And then, to me, this is the weirdest change. The speculated Aussie house has now switched from soundstage to Fast and Furious. So it's basically they just took those 3 and they just rotated them one spot.
I think for just the flow, especially if we are getting like another club horror type situation,
that makes
having
sense.
The Aussie house
exit into
right
the music scare zone, understandable there.
And like Prince of Darkness had a lot of industrial music videos settings, so I think it really lends itself a lot better than what you anticipate.
Okay. Yeah. And then Hellraiser, again, I'm not versed in it until it's confirmed, then we'll do that watch.
You will.
So I don't know what they would need, tent versus soundstage, but now the only issue I'm seeing is that is going to put 4 IPs in the front of the park. It's
like the lower IPs though.
Aussie would be kind of mid park. So it'd be, but over on the sound stages, that's 3 IPs. Well, and then only 1 IP over in the tents.
But what's the IP in the tent?
It is the biggest.
It's the big one.
It is the big one. But that's just so IP heavy one side of the park.
If they do it like they did last year with like the way that they had the entrance where it was like 2 and 2.
Yeah.
I think, again, we've talked about it multiple times. It flowed so well.
And I was thinking about that too, that the way they had the kind of heavy hitters, it felt like it was going to be like really, really congested having 5 Nights and Wyatt 6 and Terrifier. Were they all up in there?
Yeah, they were all up in there.
Yeah. So it was just like, damn, it's going to be crazy over there. But the way they rerouted traffic, they had to because of Rip Ride, construction, deconstruction, whatever. But the way that you had to walk around up there, but then you could get to all the entrances kind of staying in that area. So, and it helped with crowd control. So I understand that if that's what they're expecting, it just still feels really almost unbalanced, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
Okay. So the 3 IPs, we're still thinking Hellraiser. We're still thinking Ozzy Osbourne and
Evil Dead Burn.
Evil Dead Burn. I am pretty stoked about that. Like we talked about Vanity Ball, I'm a little bummed, but if we get those 3, I think it's going to be really sick. Yeah. And it is very diverse. You've got multiple time periods, multiple angles of scares, multiple subgenres of horror that are all being represented in this anniversary year. So I'm hyped.
Oh yeah.
There hasn't really been an announcement other than like Stranger Things that I'm like, eh.
Yeah, but it was like, it's like acceptance of it. Like we knew it was coming, so it's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, so 3 IPs left, but yet only 2 spots on the carousel left. So I think, it just makes the most sense that it would be the last 2 that are movie based. And then if it's an Aussie one,
maybe
the other 4, the other 4 are movie TV based. So
Yeah, I can see that being like a cohesive thing too. So I'm interested to see kind of what direction they go with. I'm hoping that our next drop is going to have much better merchandise. I hope that there's not going to be an ugly, god awful shirt.
Yeah.
But I think this year is going to be sick.
Because
all we have left is those 3 IPs.
Because they could make some really cool freaking Evil Dead, Burn merch. And I assume probably some really cool Hellraiser merch that would sell because the fans of that like, it's like, this is their year, you know, they're getting that finally. Because I don't know, has there ever been a Hellraiser house? And if there has,
I don't believe
it's been a minute. So
no, and again, it's a legacied, like OG, very much. If you like Hellraiser, you're in a very unique group that probably saw it very early on when it was released. It was kind of weird and really caught the zeitgeist at the time. So for it to be, it's not that very popular anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see what they do, and I'm excited to do some more HHN homework and revisit these movies.
For sure.
But we've got those 3 IPs left. We've got the 4 scare zones being confirmed, and we've got food and bev.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got...
And shows. I mean... we know it's going to be a fountain show, but the stage show is still... kind of a mystery, you know. We don't know. There's spec, but we don't know for sure. But
there was a weird tweet, right?
Okay, yeah, I saw a weird tweet earlier, and it was, I don't follow wrestling at all, and it wasn't WWE. It was one of the other groups.
I think you were talking about Atomic Wrestling, right?
Sure.
I think that's the people that did
it. And they said we will be making a huge announcement Monday. So tomorrow when this airs, and it said at 12 p.m. I don't know what time zone that is. And then it said #HHN35.
Maybe it'll be like a Lucha Libre that they did like the last time.
No idea.
Yeah, we do need to do a deep
dive.
And
it said HHN35, so that means Orlando. Because I'm thinking, you know, when you say Lucha Libre, I'm thinking like Hollywood when they did that scare zone.
Super sick scare zone.
So, yeah, I have no idea what that is going to be. I don't know if it's, you know, incorporated in the Fort Nightmares or if it's... Because I feel like the Fort Nightmares at the scare zone, if it happens, which... it keeps sounding like it's going to.
It's an inevitability at
this point. It could be a little bit of fucking everything because they have so many licensing agreements with just so many different properties that I guess they could pull into that. I don't know. So, other than that, scare zones, we're still looking at the entry, the 35 years of fear, or 35 years, circus tent. Clowns still over in New York. Club Horror in San Francisco. It still has the Pumpkin Lord little icon. Still showing a chainsaw in Springfield. A banana for Central Park. And then the pocket watch with the little flame. Supposedly indicating the caretaker for Hollywood, the Hollywood scare zone.
Yeah,
so.
I'm super excited. There's some that I don't really look forward to, but at the same time, you just gonna have to roll the punches. I'm sure that in HHN we trust.
Yes, I have faith in the creative team, but also I know that money talks.
Yeah,
and. But yeah, we definitely have a variety of things coming this year. So it will be a very interesting event. So scare zones, pretty much the same. The shows, it's still showing those 4 boxes. So we're still thinking some kind of Jack show at the Fear Factor stage.
I hope it's Jack wrestling.
Jack wrestling.
Yeah, I hope it's just Jack and a bunch of clowns just wrestling.
Oh, okay.
That'd be sick.
Oh, gosh. And then the fountain show, it just shows fountain, but I could see it being really IP heavy.
IP heavy would be cool, even if they did traditional Halloween again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in. That's just a cool show. I remember
our very first year, we didn't sit and watch the fountain show, and that would have been the old fountain show. Jack was back that year. I remember seeing him on the water, and on the projected whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't really stand and watch it. It was just like maybe if we were standing around getting food or waiting in line for the Nightmare Fuel, we kind of watched a little bit. But I don't know what I feel like it would be a reminiscent to like past years. It's kind of the whole thing they're going for, but I'm excited because that fountain show is just so cool with all the new fountains and the effects and the way they can project it onto the buildings and everything.
Yeah, it really does. Cool. It's just environment. Like they know what they're doing, the projection mapping they do on the buildings around
crazy.
It's just so expansive.
Yeah. And even if they don't use the drones, which I don't know that we actually ever saw them use them or not. And they didn't use them for very long, which when I saw what they did use them for, it felt like it detracted from the show, from like the super cool like projection onto the water and onto the buildings, and then the drones like cheapened it for me because they weren't like the super freaking cool crazy ones that they're using at like Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, those
are sick. So unless they've upgraded them or something, I'm fine with them not having the drones.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So
and then tribute store, we're still just
nothing new.
Carnival.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, it is going to be returning to New York. We haven't heard any different, but we haven't heard anything more on it yet. So maybe soon. So we are getting close. July, we roll into July this week, meaning we're entering the final month of announcements for houses, scare zones, shows, because historically we get all announcements by the end of July. So
I am so here for it.
Yep.
I'm ready to get the last little bit, and I can already taste the fog.
I know.
Oh, I'm so ready. Anything else you'd like to discuss, my love?
No, I think that's it for now on our for HHN.
Okay.
We had a big week, and unfortunately that means that now that we only have 3 houses left in the scare zones, they usually do the scare zones kind of the same way. They might announce them all in 1 week. So we might have a little time jumps in between announcements for this last month, but we still have quite a bit to be announced. So
yeah, I'm excited. Well, that's the latest news on HHN35 that we've got for you today. Please let us know down below which of these new original houses you're the most excited for. We'll catch you next time.
Like, subscribe, and share for more horrifying content. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay spooky.